Hi, I'm Rebecca Vi, and this is Communications 101. Imagine it's snowing and the roads are slick, and you're driving with your kids who are 3 and 1. Your 1-year-old is in a car seat facing backwards, and your 3-year-old is in a car seat facing forwards. You are driving safely, and all of a sudden, a truck pulls out in front of you, and you T-bone him. You are safe because you had your seatbelt on, and you can stand the force. Your 1-year-old was fine because your 1-year-old was sitting backwards, and its head was up against the back of the seat, so there was something to support its head. The 3-year-old, he was not so lucky. The force of the car pushed his head forward and snapped his neck. He is severely injured. This is what can happen if your child is sitting forwards and he is under the age of 4. I have seen my kids fly frontwards with slamming on my brakes, which has made me start researching the pros and cons of turning them around. A child's head is 25% of their body mass. An adult's head is only 6%, so the force for a child is much worse. Today I'm going to tell you a little about how keeping your child backwards as long as possible can help protect the child's neck and spine if hit from the front, and the child's legs being bent from being too long, and if it's safer to sit forward in case of being hit from behind. Let's start with how being turned around protects the neck. Keeping your child's seat facing rear will protect your child from getting hurt in the neck or spine if being hit in the front. Being forward forces their head forward, stressing, stretching, or breaking their spinal cord. Not only can it snap, but it can cause them to be paralyzed for life, or it can even cause death. If they're rear-faced, they receive little or no force at all. If your child is sitting in your car seat and they are rear-facing and you slam on your brakes, the seat will go backwards, and when it does, the child's head will be pressed against the back of the seat. If they are sitting forward-facing and you slam on your brakes, the seat's going to go forward, and so is the baby's head, which that's when it will snap, break, or stretch. Now that you know how rear-facing can protect you in front-end crashes, I bet you're wondering about the child's legs and when they are bent. So let's talk about that. The child's legs can touch the seat or bend if they are over the age of 1. They are comfortable like this because they sit like this normally when they are at home playing or just sitting watching TV. So they are more flexible than adults, so it's comfort to them. Indian style is the way a lot of kids sit, so why not sit that way in a car? If the child's legs get hurt in the wreck, it's okay because they can be fixed. If they are forward-facing and they snap their neck, you can't fix it. They either get paralyzed or they die. So there are no documented cases showing that kids' legs have gotten broken or their hips have gotten broken by sitting reversed with their feet against the back of the seat. But there are many cases showing that kids could have prevented being killed by sitting reversed longer. Now that we have talked about sitting rear-faced and why it might be uncomfortable, let's discuss why sitting forward because of the chance of being hit from behind isn't worth the risk. Sitting forward because of the chance of being hit from behind. 4% of rear-ended accidents is all there are. There's 4%. The other 96% are all front-end accidents, and rear-end accidents usually aren't even serious to begin with. The most serious are side impact accidents. If you're rear-faced, in a rear-faced seat, you have the same protection in a front-end accident as you do in a rear-end accident. No matter what, you're still going to have the same force. Usually if you're getting hit from behind, the force of being hit is going to actually be less because the car behind you that's hitting you is going the same speed as you. So it's going to be a lot less. So here we are. You're driving down the road. This car behind you hits your car. You have the leeway of rolling, so it's not going to be as much force. If you're going towards each other and the car's hit, it's like hitting a brick wall or a cement wall. And so the force is going to be a lot harder. So I have just talked about how a child's car seat staying rear facing can help protect the child's neck and spine if hit from the front. The child's legs being bent and being uncomfortable. And if it's safer, sitting forward in case of being hit from behind. When my kids turned 1, I automatically bought bigger seats and I turned them around. I just figured it was safer and it was okay to do because they say at 1 or 20 pounds to turn them around. That's what society is told. So I turned them around. But after watching YouTube a few months ago, I saw a video about an 18-month-old child who was in a wreck and he was sitting forward. And when he wrecked, his head flew forward and it snapped his neck. And he ended up having to be in the hospital for, I think, 3 months, and he had to relearn to walk again. So after seeing the pictures of him in the hospital, which were horrible, it has made me wonder what I should do with my kids. My 1 and 2-year-old, I've considered turning their seats back around, and hopefully that will prevent injuries if we do get in a wreck. A child cannot handle the force of a crash like an adult until 4 years of age. So remaining rear-facing can save their life. Staying rear-facing is not against the law, but it is actually recommended that you do it as long as possible. Some people just want their kids turned around so that they stop whining and crying. Kids tend to get bored if they're sitting their face in the back of the seat. So you turn them around and usually they are happier. But if you can find other ways to satisfy them and keep them backwards, that's the best way to do it. Being switched is a personal choice. After the child turns 1 or 20 pounds, they must be either of them, whichever comes first. You as a parent have to make that choice of what you think is better for you and your child. I hope I have given you new ideas to think about before making your choice.